everyone. You are listening to Common Ground Radio on the Air Nation Radio Network. Thank you for joining us this evening. Make sure you log on to airnationradio.com and download all of our past shows so that you can listen to them whenever and wherever you'd like. We're also glad that you're spending part of your Sunday with us. We hope that you all had a great weekend. For those who may be new to our show, we are a Days of Our Lives discussion show where we talk about the past week in Salem, give you spoilers, and more. I'm Misty, and on the line with us, as always, is the host, Brandon.
Hey, everybody. How's everyone doing? Well, I guess Misty's the only one on the line, so I guess I'll ask Misty how she's doing.
I am doing wonderful.
I hope you're staying warm. I don't know about Tennessee, but up here in Ohio, it feels like a dead of winter.
It is cold here. It was warm. It was really strange because it was warm. It was like 70 degrees, and then the next day ran like 20. I mean, it was crazy.
I hate it. It's not even. I don't think like winter doesn't start till like the 21st or something.
Right.
And here we've already had it's been snowing on and off here since like Friday, and I was out driving in it today, and that was a bad idea. But I'm okay. Nothing happened.
We don't get snow like you guys get. I get jealous a little bit, but then I'm kind of glad too because I'm not that great of a driver on snow. So I'm glad that we do not get it a whole lot.
Trust me, I gladly share. I gladly give all of our snow to you guys down in Tennessee. Okay, so before we end our discussion tonight, it's time for our tweets of the week. We should have our own little jingle for this. Our own little, it's a little segment. We should have like a jingle or something. Anyway.
The tweets of the week. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, okay, something like that. Anyways, this week Misty has a couple of tweets, and so do I. So the tweets will be from day stars past and present. Like I said, I have two, and she has two. I think I'll start out this week with the tweets of the week. The first one that I have is, where are my notes? Sean Christian, who of course plays Daniel. And if you want to follow him on Twitter, follow him at Sean C, the letter C, the number 4, and then Real, R-E-A-L. What matters is being, pure being. Accept who you are, be who you are, and have a great weekend. I think he tweeted this on Friday. I just thought this was a very, I've never seen a more true tweet, I guess you could say. It was very poignant, or so. I'm not sure. I just thought it was a nice tweet, and something that we all should remember, I think. Something that we all should remember.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good one. All right. Mine, of course, I have one from Jen Lilly, as always. This one is hilarious. She says, what if soy milk is just regular milk introducing itself in Spanish?
That's true. I never thought of it because in Spanish, soy equals I am. So I never really, I took 6 years of Spanish and that never crossed my mind.
That was pretty funny.
I think I'm going to steal that from a conversation.
I know.
Steal that from Okay, my last one for this week is from Eileen Davidson, who, of course, played Kristen. And by the way, if you have been missing Kristen, over the Thanksgiving, she was on Young and the Restless for a few episodes. So if you want to see a little more of Eileen Davidson, go find out or look at the past episodes of YNR over Thanksgiving, and you will see her. And just a warning, her character on Young and the Restless is the complete opposite of Kristen. So if you'd like to follow Eileen on Twitter, it's at Eileen_Davidson. She tweeted this to the Day's official Twitter, and she tweeted this to Eric Martzloff. She said, "Aw, damn it, I saw the show today, and Kristen is such a jerk. I miss you all, and Eric, you are rocking it. XOXO."
That's pretty funny.
At least I'm glad she realized. It's nice that she realizes that her character is such a jerk.
Yes. Yeah, because I'm sure she's totally not like that.
No,
obviously.
Right.
But I think it's fun.
Yeah. And like I said, neither is her character on YNR.
Right. I hear people say that it's like night and day.
is. I mean, I guess you could say that her character in Y&R is boring. I mean, well, I don't want to get started on that because we're not a Y&R show. But if you want to go see her, go check out past episodes. By the way, if you want to look her up on YouTube, you just type in Ashley Abbott Y&R because it's her character, Ashley Abbott. So that's all the tweets we have for this week. Where are we? Let's see.
Well, I have Casey's tweet.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I totally forgot. You told me you had another tweet. I was getting ready to go on.
You're used to me going first, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
So Casey, of course, he did play Chad Demira. And if you want to follow him, it's at Casey Diedrich, and that's Deidrick. He says, does anyone know where I can buy some used sex toys? I'm a baller on a budget. Oh, gosh.
I'm not quite sure how to respond to that, so I think that I just won't respond at all. I think
when I saw that, I was like, oh, my gosh.
You know what?
I didn't know how to respond to it either, so I was just like, huh.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I've actually seen like a post, like Facebook posts, from like three of my friends that have said the same thing. I don't like it's, and I'm not sure if like because I heard like over a few days ago there was a Twitter Facebook massive hack where 2 million like Twitter accounts and Facebook accounts were hacked. So I didn't know if that's what it was. But I mean, I thought it was no, I don't know. Awkward, weird. Okay, so that's all the tweets we have now for sure.
Yes.
Okay.
We ended with a bang. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Oh my God. That could be taken so many ways. All right. So let's see. Those are the 4 tweets we had for this week. All right. Just a reminder, if you'd like to call in and discuss anything about last week's days, the number is different this week, and bear with me because it is a little long. The number is 1-724-444-7444. Then once you hit that number, you'll be asked to enter the call ID, and the call ID is 131151, and then you're in, right? Or do we have to hit pound? Do we have to hit pound?
1 and pound.
1 and okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me start this over again so you all will know what to do. The number is 1-724-444-7444. Then you'll be asked to enter the call ID. The call ID is 131151. Then you'll have to enter 1 and then pound, and then you'll be in. And we'll explain why the numbers are different at the end of the show. So call in whenever something. Call in whenever you have something you'd like to talk about. Misty is going to get us started this week. Discussion with Monday's show.
Okay. Monday. I'm going to pick up basically kind of where we last saw before Thanksgiving, the whole Sammy, Gabby, and Kate storyline with Nick. So Sammy's at the lake, and she's searching for her missing earring. And I was wondering why she was in white clothes to be looking on the dirt for her earring, but we'll find out in a minute. But anyways, Nick came up out of the water and scared her, grabbed her by the arm, and so she's screaming, like, let me go. And he's like, no, you're going with me this time, or something like that. So he pulls her into the water and holds her down, and then her body goes, like, lifeless, and she, like, sinks to the bottom of the lake. So I'm like, oh, my gosh, what's going on?
Which makes no sense because Nick was there in the river the whole night.
Right.
And how come his body didn't? I mean,
right.
Anyway,
I'm like, how's
see
it just going to pop up? Okay. Because it obviously was the next day because she had different clothes on and everything, so we know it was the next day. But she's gasping for air. She wakes up. She was having a nightmare. That's why she was in white clothes, because obviously you're not going to wear white. I'm just kidding. She's walking around in the dirt. But anyway, so she gets up or whatever, gets ready, and she's leaving. And EJ stops her. And he said that, he was surprised that she was still in Salem because she was supposed to be taking the kids to some museum that was, like, outside of town or something.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she hadn't forgotten about the kids, so she has a few errands that she needed to do, and she knows a shortcut, so they'll get there in plenty of time. So obviously she knows her way around town. Just kidding. So she tries to leave again, and he stops her again, and he says that he notices she's upset about something. She was also upset and like disheveled last night. And so she was like, no, I'm not upset. She got home. Police were swarming that place. She didn't know why they were there. And because I guess, they were there to try to find out about Kristen. So she used that as an excuse as to why she was kind of like all wired up the night before. So he's just saying, keeping secrets from me, blah, blah, blah. And she was kind of, well, that's because that's what we do. Let's face it, it's our specialty. And so she leaves.
True.
Yes, they do lie to each other. It's obvious. So back at Mad World, Kate, she's talking to a private investigator on her phone, and she's saying that she was telling the man to fly to New York, I guess, and use Nick's identification and his personal belongings so that I guess people would believe that he actually arrived there.
Mm-hmm.
And then
they really had this thought out.
I know. She's
it's almost like Kate and Sam have had experience with hiding a dead body.
And then, I know, and they're, like, so calm, and, like, it doesn't even bother them, really. But honestly bothers Sammy because she's having nightmares about it, but she's still kind of, like, a professional. A
professional. That's a new one for Sammy the professional.
She's a professional murderer / cover it up. I'm just kidding. I don't know what she is, but she does good at hiding stuff. But she's a little more nervous than Kate. Kate, really, she's like calm, cool, collective. Like you would never, ever know that anything was wrong with Kate because she just keeps it together.
Which just makes it all more better.
Yes. But anyway, she told that man, just throw things into the Hudson, down a rabbit hole, whatever. Just let her know when it was done. So she's obviously wanting to cover her tracks, I guess, by texting Hope that he was there. And so she's trying to cover all that back stuff. Meanwhile, Theo finds the diamond earring. And Abe's like, come on, Theo, we're going hiking. Come on, come on, come on. Like rushing him or whatever. So I guess he puts the earring in his pocket. And then later, Sammy actually does go to the lake, who's in all black, and she is searching for her earring. And so she's, she's like, it's got to be around here somewhere. Where is it?
On her hands and knees, in the dirt.
Yes, yes, getting filthy. And she misses his, he had that leather NF, whatever that thing was that was on his backpack.
What adult has a backpack with their initials on it? I mean, that's like 5th grade.
Hope bought that for him.
Oh, okay. Well, that changes
makes
everything.
Perfect sense.
Uh-huh.
But so finally she just gives up because she's not finding it. And she gets a text from someone. At that point, I don't think we know who the text is from. So then later, Sammy met up with Kate, and they're back in that area of the Horton Town Square where that bench is or whatever. And Kate could tell that she'd obviously been doing something because she had dirt all over her clothes, and she's trying to wiping it off with paper towels, which I thought was so hilarious. But it was coming off. It was coming off.
Mirror it all over your clothes. I mean, I don't. Sammy's logical.
So Sammy's kind of like, oh God, Kate's, trying to figure out what she's doing, and so she confesses to her that she lost her earring the night before. So then, of course, Kate was like, oh my gosh, that is like a $30,000 earring or more. And then Sammy was like, for the pair, and she was like, no, for one.
I'll admit, my jaw kind of dropped when I heard that.
I know. Theo has $30,000 in his hand. It's like, oh my gosh. But anyway, I know. I was like, holy crap. But of course, I mean, it's EJ. He's got money, so I guess that's pocket change to him. $60,000.
I could use that to pay off my student loans. $3,000 would come in quite handy.
Yeah. I wish we could have found the earring. Okay.
Oh, well. Maybe next time.
Maybe. But anyway, so Kate continues her conversation with Sammy, telling her that Gabby, she's worried about Gabby. She's like, she's going to tell somebody, maybe we need to go and check on her because she's not used to this kind of thing. And that Sammy
she's
was like,
not used to
no.
murdering people.
Yeah, and covering it up. So Sammy was like, nope, I got to take the kids to the museum. You can take care of it. And she also told her to check on that flash drive that Nick had given her. She thought that maybe there was some sort of incriminating information on the flash drive, so she wanted Kate, to look at it or whatever to make sure that there wasn't anything on there.
How about the idea of Sammy driving a busload of kids across the town? I just have to laugh out loud. I mean, I don't know why.
So later, as she's running out, Sammy bumps into Theo and is kind of like, I'm sorry, I don't have time to talk. Hi, Abe. Hi, Theo. See you later. Like, just runs off. So, of course, Abe's got this look on her face like, oh, Lord, what's Sammy up to now? Which she's bad about doing that, too. So it's not just Gabby who's good at giving up stuff. It's Sammy with her crazy reactions. But anyway, so Kate goes to the Brady pad, and she puts in Nick's flash drive on her laptop. And this was kind of creepy. An image of Nick's face appeared on the screen, and it, turned into a skull, and then had some explosions flashing on the screen, and then the screen went blank. And so
I would have thrown a laptop out the window if I saw Nick's face pop up on my laptop.
Right. And she kind of just grown in frustration. EJ's just watching her. He's over there at the bar, kind of keeping an eye on her, watching her a little bit. That's all really for that storyline for Monday. But also on Monday, Abe and Theo talked to Rafe and Jordan, and Rafe noticed that Jordan was great with kids, and asked if she'd worked with kids before. She kind of didn't want to answer, but said yes. They go to the park later, where Rafe walks from his wheelchair to the bench, falls on her, and kisses her. Maxine, I know. Maxine shows up at Danner's apartment to give him some letters of support from people who had, he'd encountered over the years of being a doctor. That's to kind of help him with his hearing that he was going to be having with the whole truth.
Maxine left the hospital. Breaking news. Maxine left the hospital.
Oh, I know. But, she was at the pub hanging out with somebody one day. I forget who it was. Was it Jennifer? Yeah, Jennifer.
She was still in her scrubs, though.
Oh, yeah, she was. She had no clothes on. Oh, yeah. Okay. So JJ runs into Bev and Roy. He pretty much tells them he's tired of being the loser, and then they said, well, you'll be all alone because the other kids think you're a freak, and they're the ones that actually care about him, which it didn't faze him. He was just like, whatever. And so then Ann tried to talk to Teresa. I'm like, oh, JJ, he'll find good friends. He'll be fine. Ann tried to talk Teresa into lying about Daniel at the hearing, saying that he actually did some drugs as well. So that pretty much covers Monday.
I never thought that I'd actually reach the point that I would feel sorry for JJ.
I know.
As soon as he came to town, I just knew he was going to be trouble, and I never expected Days to turn the character around and actually make us feel sorry for him. But that's what I like about the show. The show can make us change our feelings on a dime for a character. So,
they sure can.
Go Days for doing that.
Because I didn't really like Melanie to begin with, and then I ended up really liking her.
See, it's all about the writing.
I know.
All right. So for Tuesday, I was debating what I wanted to discuss, but Misty is going to be discussing the Kate and Gabby stuff and Sammy with her Wednesday and Friday stuff. So I think I'll take a break from that, and I'll mention it at the end. But what I want to get into is the Sonny and Will. And Sonny and Will, it's Sonny and Will and everything else involved with them. Anyways, they're at home. Will and Sonny are at home discussing Sonny hiring a couple bartenders at PBD. While at home, Gabby is still there. She's still in bed, and she has a dream of murdering Nick, and wakes up with a. Hold on. Let me gather my thoughts here. Okay. Anyways, she has a dream about Nick. She has a dream of murdering Nick. Basically, it's a flashback. So Sonny leaves for work, and Gabby gets up. I think Ari was up too. Will was getting ready to make breakfast for Gabby, and then that's when she came out of the bedroom. She seemed very disgruntled, but disheveled. Will tries to get Gabby to talk. She refuses. She wakes up, gets on her iPad, and flips through the news. And she asks if anyone had called. And Will says that his grandma had called Kate, and she wanted to know what Kate said, and Kate didn't really say anything, evidently, on the phone call. I guess Grandma Kate doesn't like to talk on the phone very long. Like I said, Gabby refuses to talk to Will about anything, and she says that she's going to go see Rafe. I think after Gabby left, Kate came over. Is that correct? That's yeah.
Now for Will, he couldn't get any writing done that day.
Oh, that's right.
Everybody kept doing that.
Oh, that's why he was wearing that Mr. Rogers sweatshirt or sweater too. He looked like Mr. Rogers. He really did. Anyways, I have to talk for another day or another show. So Kate came over wanting to. I'm not sure exactly what her reasoning was for coming over, but I'm assuming her reasoning was to see Gabby. Kate asks after Gabby. Will says that she's acting odd. Gabby is, that is. And of course, Kate knows why. Kate looks worried that Gabby seems so odd. Meanwhile, at the club, that's where Gabby had went, because that's where Gabby was going to meet Rafe, because Rafe was out of the hospital. Well, he's not out of the hospital for sure. This was just a day he was out with Jordan, getting his, daily exercise.
They were at the pub.
Right. Oh, that's right. Oh, so sweet. So Sonny calls home because he left his checkbook at home, and he asked Will to bring it. But Kate overhears a conversation. She hears Sonny telling Will that Gabby is there at the club as well. So when Kate hears that, because, after Kate finding out that Gabby seems very odd, very like something's wrong with her, she wants to check on her to make sure that she doesn't spill the beans about what they just did the other night. So Kate offers to take the checkbook to the club to give to Sonny, so that way she can just check in on Gabby. So she leaves, and Will is able to get, well, not but he tries to start to get some work done on his writing. Kate calls Sammy, telling her about the virus that Nick had infected her computer with. This is from Kate. She said that if Gabby hadn't already killed Nick, I'd do it myself. And I'm sure she would have no problem doing that either. At the pub, or not the pub, the club, TBD. They rhyme. Club, pub.
I know.
I'll just call it.
Not the pub. It's the club. The pub club.
Oh my. Sonny and he has been a bartender at the club for a while. Just part time, he's not a full time. I'm not sure if he's getting paid minimum wage or not. It might just be volunteer. Anyways, after much coaxing from T, because Sonny says that he needs to hire some bartenders, and T says that he'd like to do it. So after much coaxing, T gets Sonny to agree to let him take over as one of the full-time bartenders. And T's pretty excited. I think he actually hugged Sonny. He's pretty ecstatic. T says, you're not doing this because I'm friends with Will, are you? And Sonny says, no, I'm doing this because I'm friends with you. Now, who would have thought a year ago that Sonny and T would be best friends?
I know.
I mean, Tad engulfs him in a hug and thanks him. Engulfs a hug. That's an awesome thing. So meanwhile, surprised because if he the morning.
You're cutting out.
Noticed. I figured. And I had seen that she was disgruntled, or not disgruntled. Well, Sammy was. She was a little disheveled, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I guess that's the best way of putting it up. At the place, and he doesn't, because Will doesn't know anything. But Will says that Gabby's not moving to New York, and at this point, EJ's interest is piqued, wondering why. Like, why did she decide not to go? So, I'm. Well, how can I not breathe? I'm talking. I'm going to have to breathe, Dawn.
You're back again. You're okay right now.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty much done with Tuesday. I'm just going to.
It's just like a hit and miss. It's weird.
Okay. I have no explanation. Well, I don't know. Anyways, that's all I wanted to discuss in depth with Tuesdays. Well, if anything, the other things that happened that I didn't discuss were Rafe and Jordan, as Misty had said. They had a moment in the park. Kate's computer was infected by Nick, system failure. EJ asked if she needed any help, but of course, Kate's not going to take any help. Eric and Brady are at Hope's office at the police department and are told that Kristen and Eric's sex tape went viral. Oh, my. They seem to be getting along for now, Eric and Brady. I mean, well, they're civil, I guess, is the best way to put it. Not getting along, but civil. So we'll see how long that lasts. Nicole stopped Miles' office to update him on Eric's interview. He no-go. He puts pressure on her to get this interview done, but too much pressure for Nicole, and she quits. Gabby and Rafe met up at the club. I wanted to make sure I got it right that time. Club. And Kate interrupted. Well, I'm not sure if Kate interrupted on this day, or I think it might have been Wednesday. In the town square, Eric was punched in the mouth by one of the people that go to his church. Literally, he was punched. He took him down. I mean, well, he hit him, and then he hit his head on the park bench, and was knocked out cold.
Poor Eric.
Yeah, well, he irks me very much. I don't feel sorry for him, but it just irks me the way he's treating Nicole.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Brady arrives, goes back home to the mansion and takes out the powder, which is a drug. Anderson interrupts with the DVD, and Brady decides to watch it. And on the DVD, it is Kristen. She made, basically to sum up the tape, she was basically making him his own sex tape. So I guess she felt that Brady was left out after what she did with Eric, so she wanted to make him his own personal sex tape, which was very sweet of her. Anyways, to wrap up the show, Nicole and Eric had a run-in at the pub. I believe, I'm not too sure, did they? But I think they did because Nicole, at the end of the show, returned to Miles' office and said that she has reconsidered and will cover the Father Eric story. I think the reason that she did this is because she had a run-in with Father Eric, and they got in a disagreement at the pub. The pub. I really need to decipher between the TBD and the pub. I got to get those two down. Okay. All right, so that's all I have Tuesday's days.
Okay. Wednesday. I'll continue on with Kate, Rafe, Gabby, and all that. So they're at the club, and Jordan asked Kate to give Rafe and Gabby some space to talk alone because she had asked to speak with Rafe privately when they arrived. And it was kind of funny because she gave them their privacy or whatever, but then she wanted Kate to give them their privacy too. She didn't want her to be over there with them or whatever. But anyway, so Kate's trying to get Gabby's attention, and she's standing at the bar and she's kind of raising her fingers, like you do when you want a waiter. So T comes over. T comes like, you want to order something? She was like, shoot, go away. And I'm just cracking up because it's hilarious. So he was like, it's like you were calling a waiter. And she was like, no, go away. So he leaves or whatever. And Gabby's actually telling Rafe that she feels ashamed. She was explaining that Nick had actually been the one that arranged the modeling contract in New York because he also had found himself a job there, and he wanted to reunite with her and Ariana and be a family.
Oh, isn't he sweet?
I know. And Kate's kind of seeing this happen or whatever, so she stands up. I guess she was over at the bar, and she stands up, and she's starting to go over there, and Jordan stopped her, and she was like, "You're his therapist, not his bodyguard. Buzz off."
Well.
And she makes her way over to the table.
So she ignores everything that Jordan said.
Yes. And she goes to the table, and when she arrives at the table, she hears Gabby say that everything had gotten out of hand. Well, Kate just makes herself at home, sits down, and, Rafe was saying that Nick had manipulated her into going to New York, and basically, if he could get his hands on him, he would kill him himself. Just rambling on.
But he can't really move, so that's not going to happen.
Exactly.
Nick's dead, so.
True. And then Gabby was like, no, that's not all. And, she wants to continue the story, but Kate's pretty much not letting her tell the story. So she interrupts and says that she saw them in the town square. She heard, what Nick had done. And she was telling her, Nick's gone now. He's gone to New York. There's nothing else that needs to happen and that you're going to be fine. So Gabby's just kind of got this look on her face like, really? And, she's really nervous and she wants to tell Rafe everything. But Kate went ahead and interrupted her again before she could and said that they had sex, that Nick and Gabby had sex again. And
put it all out there.
Yeah, just let it all out. And the look on Gabby's face was like, oh, my God, did you really just tell my brother that? And so she's, Kate kept on and on like, I kept telling her she did nothing wrong. She made it clear to him that it was over and, it's fine. There's no need to let, Nick continue to ruin their lives because he's gone now. So Jordan walks up to the table and asks if everything was all right, and Kate was like, it's a private matter. Like, go away.
Oh, my God. So rude. Poor Jordan didn't do anything.
Oh, no, she was just making sure everything was all right. But Kate's like, it's a private matter, and you're not involved, so go away. So she walks away or whatever, and then she told him that she was going to take good care of Gabby, and Gabby and Ray told each other they loved each other and blah, blah, blah. And so Rafe, he leaves or whatever, and then Gabby's kind of telling Kate, I don't want to lie to him. I don't want to lie to him. And so then she's like, well, if you tell him, then you're putting him in a position to where, one, he has to cover up your story and he could get in trouble because he's a cop, or he pretty much has to put you in jail. And do you want your baby growing up without a mother? Pretty much how that went down. So then, of course, she's like, no, I don't want to be without my baby. Yeah. And so she said, I can't believe you told him that I had sex with Nick. And she goes, well, I thought it was better than telling him that you killed the guy.
Well, yeah. I'm not sure he'd be surprised, but yeah.
So she's just like, whatever. And she goes over to the bar, and she kind of puts her head down, and T comes over, and he says he wasn't sure if she wanted vodka or hot tea, so he brought her both. He said, you look like you can use one or the other. And he was going to offer her somebody to talk to, and she kind of just said, I need to work this out on my own. So he leaves her.
He tries so hard.
I know, and he wants a girlfriend. He don't care if it's Abby, Jordan, or Gabby.
He just wants someone to love.
Yeah, he'll take any of them. It's fun. So anyway, back at the town square, EJ runs into Kate, and she's arguing on her cell phone, and I guess over the whole virus situation or whatever. And so she hangs up the phone, and EJ says that, he heard about her computer virus and at Bad World, and she's just like, I guess she thinks he called around or something. I don't know how she knows he knew or whatever. But then he said, well, you were cursing at your computer, and he said that you should have never listened to Samantha. What were you talking about? And her phone's ringing, and it's Sammy calling her, and she ignores the phone call and walks away from EJ. She's just like, I don't have time for you, whatever, I'm leaving. And so Sammy calls, like, instantly again, and Kate's kind of like, well, I ignore your call. That doesn't mean hang up and call right back in a few seconds.
You can know the drill now.
And they said that they need to hope that Nick's body, doesn't wash ashore or something, or lands up on shore next to Sammy's earring or something like that. She makes a joke. And then she's like, we need to find the earring. Basically, she's telling her to find the earring or whatever. So it goes and it shows Abe and Theo. Abe's on the phone and Theo's staring down at the earring that he found. So I'm wondering how many trips or how many hands this earring's going to go through before things come out, or if he'll have it forever. He probably won't tell his dad what he found, but who knows?
The kids are always the one in Salem to find the evidence.
Yes, they are, because didn't Johnny find the flash drive, or was it
Parker?
Yes, Parker. Parker found the flash drive, and now he's got the earring, so it's just like, good Lord. So it'll go on for a little bit. And then Sierra had the picture.
Oh, don't even remind me of that.
With some money.
She held that for months and months and months.
Forever. But that's about all that storyline for Wednesday. Also on Wednesday, Abby and Kayla have a discussion about Chad, and Kayla tells her that she knew that Chad was lying about his tumor, but couldn't say anything because of the doctor-patient confidentiality. And so she agreed not to tell Jennifer about it. Maggie tells Victor that she's not coming back home. And Daniel found Eric knocked out in the town square. And Brady and Victor have a talk in the mansion where he's saying that Maggie thinks that he's going to, that Victor pushed him to doing drugs again or whatever. And Brady was like, no, whatever, I'm fine. And then Nicole and Brady talk about the story that she's doing for Eric and how she wants to let everyone know what kind of an evil person Kristen was and let everybody know that Eric was innocent. And Brady says he'll do an interview because he had just finished snorting some coke, and so he was like wired up a little bit, and he was calm.
He was probably feeling good.
Yeah, so he was like, you know what, I'll give you an interview. And so that's pretty much it for Wednesday.
I had a snarky comment I wanted to make, and Maggie. Okay. Honestly, Victor's probably better off without Maggie.
Yeah.
And I think we'd be better off without Maggie too. I mean, unless they do something like make her character less annoying. She just she serves no purpose on the show besides meddling in her son's life. And I don't know. Well, I'll just stop right there. So I'll get into Thursdays a little bit, and to be honest, I missed some of the show, and the parts that I did see I wasn't all that interested with, but I will say that the Sammy and Nicole scenes were off the hook. Just hurling insults back and forth at each other, back and forth, back and forth. and Sammy was quite cold, let me say. Anyways, Sammy arrives at Nicole's office to ask her to drop the story about Father Eric. This is when she begins to start insulting her and bringing up the kidnapping of Sydney, among some other Nicole's misdoings. And as she does this, Nicole sarcastically tells Sammy that she's less motivated to help Eric now. All of a sudden, she's just less motivated to help him. So Sammy backtracks on her word. Nicole should do the story, but make Eric look innocent, is what Sammy said that? Anyway, I don't know. Now, I'm not sure he said this, but in my opinion, just from this, Nicole should do the story, but make Eric look innocent. In my opinion, no. Don't make him look, well, he is innocent, but it's a fine line. It's a fine line. I'm just torn because Eric just drives me crazy the way he treated Nicole, and it's just that I just can't get over that anger that I have towards him. So I'm not very, makes me mad. Anyways, it is nice to see him out of the collar though, in street clothes. That's a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
So anyways, Nicole and
like
Sammy
that little
continue.
girl says, "You lost your collar."
That little girl with the red hair, she's adorable. So they start slinging insults, sins at each other, Nicole and Sammy. And they could probably do a whole show just with Nicole and Sammy's sins. And Nicole got one over on Sammy. Nicole says, it's been 6 months since she has murdered that detective. Or have you murdered anyone lately? You do. Have you murdered anyone lately?
Sammy's face was classic.
Well, now that you mention it, Nicole. Crazy.
Yes. Yes, I have.
The collar basically flushes out of her face. But Sammy recovers quickly, only to sling a few more insults at Nicole, and then quickly and disgruntledly exit Nicole's office. That was awesome. I think there was one insult that really I thought that Sammy hurled at Nicole, and it was about having children. I can't remember the exact quote, but I thought it was very, very low for her. I can't remember the exact thing that she said. I wish I would have wrote it down, but
I know. I
just
know
thought
things if I write it down. But yeah, poor Nicole.
Something about not being able to have children, and I mean, that's just, you gotta feel bad for her. I mean, I know Sammy doesn't have feelings, but you just gotta feel bad for Nicole. Let's see. I think I'll continue with Sammy after she leaves. She leaves the office, Nicole's office, and goes to the Demir Mansion. And she's not there for but a few seconds, and she turns around and sees a mirage of Nick. And she screams bloody murder. I mean, she screams. She looks again, and it's just EJ. I thought it was
he's like, what the heck's wrong with you, Samantha?
Samantha, what the hell?
He's like, what's wrong with you, Samantha? You look good. Okay, sorry.
So we have Teresa on this day too. I love Teresa. I wish they would, I mean, I like the way that they're writing her now. Her and JJ, both of them. I love that both of characters have, I wouldn't say done a complete 180, but they're on their way. I mean, they're the same people that they were when they came to town. And I know some people hate that. Some people want them to stay bad. But, I mean, we got enough people on the show. We have the Demiras. I mean, we don't need more. Let's see what Teresa can do with her life. And let's see what JJ can do with his life once they're away from drugs.
Yeah.
And why not put them together? Why not? I don't know. I mean, I could see JJ and Teresa. But from spoilers, I have a feeling that Teresa might have a different love interest. But anyway, we'll get that later. So, the other things I didn't talk about were, oh my goodness, Jennifer was on and Maggie was there. Jennifer asked Maggie to move into the, I don't really care. EJ bumps into Brady at the town square and they discuss Kristen. As you can imagine, that just went amazingly well. Eric startles Sammy at the Brady pub as she's flashing to killing Nick. This was earlier on in the show. From Daniels, Nicole leaves Brady a message asking when he'll do the interview. He's glad and he'll tell her about Eric's assault with Brady. Wait. I'm just so disorganized. Finals are next week, everybody, so I'm barely had to eat prep for the show. I'm so stressed. In case anyone was wondering, I'm sure you all were wondering. I forgot about this. Will went over to talk to JJ. See, this is the part I missed. I didn't see this part. Will went over to the Horton house, correct? And I'm not sure exactly what they talked about. Will cracks a joke about JJ studying at home before handing her a CD in his mail. JJ finds a letter from the courts. His sentencing is postponed for a few weeks. It's unnerving, but he says he's going to stay out of trouble permanently. He opens up a little about resisting Daniel and blaming his mother for not missing his dad enough, when really he was upset with himself for not being there for Jennifer. Will can relate, but the reason Daniel and Jen aren't getting back together is because of Teresa. But of course, we all know what happened that night that JJ or Daniel found Teresa. Jennifer doesn't, but hopefully she will sometime soon. Yeah, let's see. Of course, and then to end the show, Brady arrives back at the mansion, called his old drug dealer. So, the old Brady's back.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not.
I know, I'm not sure how I feel about it.
I mean, you get JJ and Teresa away from the drugs, and then
put Brady
boom,
on it.
right back. Right, yeah. We'll have to see how that goes.
Oh, poor Brady.
He just has no luck.
No. He doesn't have luck with the women or staying sober.
Because every woman he dates dies. I mean.
Or does something horrible to him.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
All right. Were you finished with Thursday?
Your turn. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
Sorry.
Right.
That's all I have for Thursday.
Okay. So Friday, I'll continue on with Gabby. So she awoke with a start from another nightmare about the night that she bashed Nick's head in with a rock. She rolled over trying to go back to sleep, and she saw Nick, and his head was bleeding, and he was lying in the bed next to her saying, "You're so beautiful, Gabby. You're so very beautiful and sweet," like going on. And he's like,
that
"Why
would
you
be
do this
creepy.
to me?" He's like, "Why'd you do this to me when all I did was love you? Just let me love you." And so he's like, goes to touch her hair, and she tries to scream, but no sound's coming out. And then that's when she really bolts awake, and she's on the couch.
I thought that was awkward.
I know.
I thought it was something wrong with my TV. I thought the sound was broken on my TV because I saw her mouth wide open, but I didn't hear any noise.
Because you know when you have dreams and you're trying to scream and there's no sound? Have you ever done that?
Yeah, in my dreams, totally.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, crap.
This is realistic.
That's when I knew she was dreaming again, or, that she didn't really wake up, is when no sound was coming out. So I was like, oh, she's still dreaming. But anyway, for whatever reason, she panics and runs over to Ariana's bassinet. I guess, I don't know why she thought she wouldn't be there, but she wasn't there. It was actually empty. So she's, starting to freak out, and Will had left a note actually saying that he had taken the baby to the park. So she was like, oh, my gosh, calm down, and it's going to be fine. And she was, reminiscing back to when he was all sweet and nice, helping her with her math. And she's like, wait, that wasn't really him. And then she flashes back to where he tried to rape her. And then she's just like, I can't do this. And so she texts Sammy, pretty much telling her that she needed to see her. But Sammy is at the Demira mansion right after she screams bloody murder. And EJ's like, what's wrong with you? And then she's like, I'm fine. And he's like, no, something's bothering you. And, you know, and then she said, yeah, something's bothering me. You're not even trying to find your sister. Or they go into some subject about he's not even trying to find her. He's like, yes, I am. I've got men on it, blah, blah, blah. Well, then he's like changing the subject and asked if Nick had told Sammy anything about what he had done to benefit them. So Sammy's like, what? You know, he moved to New York. I don't know, I don't know where he is. And then EJ said, well, he had himself a very busy day yesterday. And about that time, she's holding a glass of water or something, and she drops it, and it breaks. And so he, goes over telling her, I'll get the staff to clean it up, but, what's wrong with you or whatever. And she's just like, nothing, it's fine. So then he finally says that he had actually given Kate a flash drive that had a virus on it that, took down the whole Mad World's network. And so Sammy was kind of like, really? She's kind of got excited a little bit, perked up for a minute. It was like, bad news for Kate is always good news for us, right? And so then she's like, she gets Gabby's text message and says, oh, I've got to leave. I've got meetings and blah, blah, blah. Grabs all of her stuff. And before EJ can even tell her bye, she's gone. She's like, out. We finally get to see Stefano again. He calls Kate.
I almost forgot about him.
I know. I was wondering when he was going to come back into the picture. But he was calling Kate, and it's funny because he called her from a blocked number. So she kind of answered the phone, was like, if this is a telemarketer, I'm not interested, or something like that. And then he's like, oh, Katerina, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to.
That's a good stuff now.
He was telling her that, Chad wanted him to give her a call to let her know that he's changing his ways, basically. And so then she's kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah, exactly. And then EJ, where is Stefano anyway? Because EJ ends up coming to eat with him.
Well, I'm just assuming that he was still with Chad, but evidently.
I know. So I'm like, how did EJ get there so fast? But anyway, he gives him a small box and says that Chad wanted him to give that back to Abigail. So he was like, okay. And then they talk about how he doesn't want Sammy to ever find out that he actually knew that Christian drugged Father Eric. And yes, and then Stefano was like, I know, I'm not going to say anything. You know, you're not going to say anything. Kristen knows, and she's definitely not going to say anything. Pretty much telling him it's going to be fine, and that Sammy will come around. And he didn't think that she would come around. She might come around to where they can sleep in the same bed again, but probably not marriage. And Stefano was like, oh, yeah, she'll come around for both. Pretty much. So Gabby goes to meet with Sammy. And she's, babbling about Nick. And she's kind of loud. So Sammy's like, shh, shut up. Don't. And she's like, don't say his name.
Sammy's wanting to talk quietly.
I know. And she's, giggling and laughing. And like, we're happy. We're going to have a pleasant conversation. Sit down. And Kate shows up. And then Sammy was like, come on, Kate. Come sit down. And she was like, you know what? I'm glad that you're, trying to pretend to be pleasant. She was like, but you need to tone it down a bit. And Sammy was like, yeah, you need to tone down your makeup. Oh, God. I love them. They're so funny. Awesome. So funny. But, anyway, so then Gabby, she's like, I've got to tell Rafe. I've got to. And then Sammy was like, what? You got to tell Rafe? What's wrong with you? Basically told her the same thing that Kate had said. You're going to put him in a bad situation to where he'll either have to choose between covering up a crime or sending you to jail. And then Kate pointed out if Gabby did go to prison, then Ariana would grow up without a mother, and then, or her grandmother, and then Sammy was like, or her great-grandmother. And then Kate kind of looked at her like, really? But she is. She is the great-grandmother. But,
she doesn't consider herself that, though.
Right.
Just Granny Kate.
I know, and she's got a blue streak in her hair, so obviously she looks too good to be a great-grandma.
Right, exactly.
Wrinkles.
Not many great-grandmas have that kind of skin tone, that kind of hair color.
Uh-huh, and dresses like Kate. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
Or they guys like Rafe. I mean, hello. I don't see many great-grandmothers with a hot stud muffin. Okay, so anyway. They continue their conversation.
Oh, my God.
But just because I'm Team EJ doesn't mean that I don't like Rafe. Okay.
Just continue.
Okay, I've lost my train of thought now. Okay, so anyway, Gabby's still, trying to say that she's having nightmares. She can't sleep at night. And Sammy's like, we're all having nightmares. And then Kate was like, well, actually, I slept like a baby last night.
That was the best.
Well, she was like, anyone with a conscience would. And then Kate was like, well, I slept like a baby, which meaning she doesn't have a conscience.
She's just so calm and collected about this.
And that creepy bird watcher man shows up, and he just pretty much was like, greetings, I saw you three lovely ladies from across the way, blah, 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 thought I would come over, and just pretty much sits himself down. They didn't ask him to sit down. They didn't ask him to stay. He just sits down. And I'm
That's
like,
how they
really?
do it in Great Britain.
Apparently. And so then he was like, why did you all deceive me when we were down by the river the other night? Do you think I wouldn't find out what you did? And so they've got looks of horror on their face. They're like, oh, my gosh, does he know what we did? And so we'll get to find out next week what he's talking about, but I'm pretty sure I have an idea what he's talking about. That bird he made up. That's all that storyline from Friday. But also on Friday, JoJo runs into Teresa. She goes back to ask Daniel to help, kind of keep him away from her because she promised Jennifer she would stay away from him. And then Jennifer sees JJ talking to Daniel at the pub, and they weren't talking in a way that they normally talk in. They weren't arguing or being ugly towards one another. They were actually talking like they were friends, and so she wanted to know what they were talking about. And Jennifer asked Maggie to move in with them. That should be fun. Daniel asked
me to sleep right now. I'd rather just take a nap. That's what I'm going to do when I watch this scene.
That's hilarious. She did have ruffles on.
Oh, my
goodness. Noticed this time. So anyway, Daniel asked Nicole to help Eric with finding out the truth. At first she wasn't going to, but her and Eric actually, after they had a little small fight, they actually decided that she will help. He went to hug her, and she turned away. That's pretty much it for Friday. For the week. Yay!
Pretty. I mean, not every week that we and take them. But that was a good week.
You're cutting out.
To the cast news. The cast news that if you can't hear me, then I don't want to discuss it. There's a lot.
Well, try to talk because you're coming back in again. It's like you were cutting out, and then I could hear you say that last part. If you want to start, if we can't hear you, I'll say.
Okay. So there's a lot of casting news that I wanted to discuss. Could you hear that all right?
I just heard you have a lot of casting news you want to discuss.
Yeah, that's all I said.
Okay. Then you said, could you hear that? I was like, yeah.
Data's casting two roles. One is Giselle, who is 40 to 50, high society woman, seeking all ethnicities, intelligent and bordering on regal. Recently left her husband for a younger left by her husband for a younger woman. And this is expected to be multiple shows for this character. The description reads, that's what the description reads. Second is a 20 to 30-year-old to play a mugger, and this includes a stunt work that should be of average height. They're also looking to cast Howell, a grumpy 75-year-old man who is the president of the Domino Club. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming we'll find out, but okay. Charlotte Ross has been chatting with Days executives about a Days of Our Lives return, possibly.
Yay.
Who, if you all don't know, played Eve Donovan. So it'll be interesting to see if we see Eve appear. Now, I always thought that if Eve was going to return, that it would be Kelly Sullivan, and that was my hope. But, I mean, Kelly Sullivan played on General Hospital. But, I mean, I'm sure all the old days, or, the Days fans for years and years loved Charlotte Ross and would love to see her return as Eve. Blake Barris is leaving Days as Nick. His last aired date has appeared to already have. But I'm not sure if I press this. I feel it'll be maybe not next year, but sometime soon. I'm trying to look through here because there's a lot. Martinez. I have no idea. All the name says is Martinez. Martinez portrays Durango Dynamite on January 27th. I don't. I know it's just you do. That's all I know. I'm just kind of speechless at the name. I'm looking at the name and just thinking, is there going to be another strip show? Or
I know. I'm like, is that old guy that you mentioned in that other place you mentioned, that strip club that he worked at?
Oh, Domino? The Domino Club, maybe? Huh. Good catch. Maybe so. Huh. Anyway.
Are you there?
Cozy.
Sorry, I hit a button on my phone. I
Oh.
was going to say, I wonder if that old man, I don't know if you heard me or not, that old man that you mentioned that was coming on, if he worked at that club that they used to strip at. I don't know the name of that one.
No, I don't remember either, but it would make sense.
Yeah.
This is like what a health care would be. I don't know. So, this will return next March. His scenes will begin airing at the time. And Camilla Bannis's date as Gabby will be around May of 2014. That's all coming that I have for Days. Do we have time for spoilers?
Sure.
Or do I have enough connection to
Maybe. I cut out a little bit during that, but not much.
I'm trying to get to them, but my computer's acting a little wonky. Back to work tomorrow.
What'd you say?
Back to work tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to reload here because I can't. It's not working. I'm sorry. Let's see. I don't know. I'm having issues here, guys. I'm sorry I can't get the spoilers, so I think we're just going to have to close the show tonight.
Okay.
What we'll do is after the link on our Facebook page, read the spoilers if you do, please.
All right. Okay. I think we covered all the ins and outs of last week's Days. Before we end our show, we'd like to remind you all to follow us on Twitter at CG Online Radio, and you can like us on Facebook. Just type in Common Ground Radio in the search bar. You should be able to find our page very easily. Our logo is an hourglass. Also, check out airnationradio.com, because there you'll not only find links to our past shows so you can download them and listen to them anytime, but you will find a little biography on myself and Brandon. airnationradio.com. Check it out. And follow them on Twitter at airnationradio. So, again, we would like to thank everyone who joined us in the chat room this evening. As you can tell, if you found us this evening, this isn't our usual place. But from now on, Talk Shoe will be our home. It feels good to be back where we started, doesn't it?
Yeah, I missed it. It's where it all started, so kind of feels good to be home, so to speak.
Yes. So, for Common Ground Radio, this is Misty.
I'm Brandon.
Have a great week, everyone.
Good night.
You've been listening to Common Ground Radio with hosts Brandon and Misty on the Air Nation Radio Network. Thank you for joining us.